Welcome to Showboys Gaming, it's Chad, and we are back once again with another stream. We're going to do something a little different than the last time. Last time we were kind of trophy hunting through Fires of Rubicon and got to the ice worm mission and got totally frustrated, so I gave up. But I think what we're going to do today is we're just going to start fresh. We're going to start... well, not fresh per se. We're going to continue on a new game plus save, but we are going to just kind of go through the entire story, mission by mission. So the way that this game kind of sets this up is a little fucked up. So from my understanding, if you start a new game, it will erase. There's not multiple playthroughs. Like most of FromSoft games, you can do multiple save files. This doesn't appear to be the same way unless I'm missing something. So instead of starting off completely fresh, we're just going to rocket through everything with New Game Plus. The other problem is I'm on Chapter 4 in this playthrough, on this save. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do Replay Mission, which is literally the exact game, cutscenes and all, and we'll just go down through it. And then we'll probably make some choices. I don't know, maybe I'll play through all of the missions. Maybe we'll make choices on the specific ones that you need to make choices on. But at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. I mean, we're on... This would technically be like a New Game plus run for me. So I've got virtually everything in the game. I do have not virtually everything in the game. I have everything. What's up, Bio? Looking forward to this. Been on the fence on this one. This game's great, man. I think you should hop over that fence. I don't know if you've played any other Armored Core games. I haven't, personally. So, just to show off... So, last time that I was streaming this, we were going for the S rank, all the S ranks to get the platinum. It was the final one I needed, and I ended up doing it off stream. Because I was just like on a frickin' win streak, and I kept going, so we got stuck. I think the last stream we got stuck on the Destroy the Ice Worm mission. Unfortunately, I got frustrated and bailed out, and I think I got it literally the next time I did the mission, so I should have just stuck with it, kept streaming. But that mission for the S rank is easily the most frustrating one. And then a lot of these were like easy S ranks, so I was surprised the ending kind of flew by. But we do have the platinum on it. We've done everything in the game. We've unlocked all the parts, got all the S ranks, did all the trophies. So there's really only one way to go about this, and I think we're just going to start. So let's hop into Chapter 1, Illegal Entry. This is the beginning of the game, very first mission.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
Handler Walter verified. Activating cerebral coral control device. Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
Time to get to work, 621. I'm powering down your entry capsule. On my signal. Now, activate the AC.
So this mission's a little different from what we're going to normally get. We can't use any of our equipment on this mission. Any of the stuff that we've unlocked, we're locked into the starter AC that we have here.
Your position is grid 135. Off target, but within permissible range.
Hopefully the audios are good. The game's not too loud or anything. You guys can hear me talking. It does get a little loud once we get into fights, so...
System activating combat mode.
So here we are. First time controlling the AC in the new Assassin's Creed. Or Assassin's Creed. I always say, every time I say AC, my mind automatically thinks Assassin's Creed, because that's always what I call. But Armored Core is what I'm trying to say here. So we're going to get like some tutorial stuff through this too. This is just showing us how energy consumption works. That's the bar at the bottom there. It's basically controls your jets, you know, going up in the air, flying around in the air is all controlled from that bar. And if you notice, it will go down when you're using it, and then it will turn red and you'll get a beep. So as soon as I hear that beep, I usually let go, because if you let it go all the way down without letting it go, there's a little bit of a cooldown on it. Now, it's not anything crazy, a couple seconds, but in the heat of battle, it's a problem. So there's two different kinds of targeting systems in this game. There's a kind of soft lock, what we're getting here, where we're looking at enemies and locking. There's also a hard lock, too, where you can lock into one specific enemy, and the camera locks onto them. So very classic FromSoft style lock-on system with the hard lock, and then you can switch between the enemies. Depending on the situation, I normally play not locked. But if there's one enemy left, I usually lock on just to get it going. There is a downside to the hard lock. Your shots are less accurate when you're hard locked on, which is a interesting way of doing it. But it does make it much easier to track your enemy. So this starter AC's got three different weapons on it. I've got just an assault rifle in my right hand here. I've got missiles on my right shoulder, and then I've got a melee weapon on my left. So that's what makes this mission kind of sucky, especially when we get to the end here. This is just showing targeting assist some more, everything I just showed you. Targeting assist would be the hard lock that I was explaining. So multi-lock. So a lot of the missiles in the game that you put on your shoulders have the ability to multi-lock if you hold whatever shoulder button is on, and it will allow you to shoot a couple missiles that, you know, they kind of split and go to two enemies, as you saw there. Which is sweet. I can't say that I use it all that much. This is also the first AC game to have any kind of healing system, like to a button, and that's what we're going to see here is the repair kits. You get 3 repair kits at the start of the mission. There's ways on specific missions to replenish your repair kits, but only specific missions. And it does happen a lot. It's usually if there's a big boss at the end, you'll get the ability to replenish your ammo and replenish your repair kits. So up on the D-pad will give us a repair. And we're going to hop over here and shoot on down to the city. Pretty excited for tonight's episode. I think we'll probably talk a little bit about Armored Core, and we're going to talk a lot about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's easily my most hyped game of the year, and that's saying something in a year that's been so stacked like this. That's the game that I'm looking the most forward to, and we're close, man. We're close. October 20th. Closer and closer.
If we get our hands on Rubicon's coral, we'll make a killing. Plenty for a merc with a fried brain like you to buy their life back.
So we are finally down on the planet of Rubicon, and we are tasked with going and finding a license that can pass on the planet. And this is another thing. This quick boost is essentially your dodge button. I don't know that it gives you iframes like in a classic FromSoft game. FromSoft is very clear that this is not a Souls game. This is going to be an Armored Core game. But as you see as we go through the playthrough here, there's a lot of Souls influences. We've already seen it once with the repair kit. That's straight Souls. So even though they say, I think they were just managing expectations, which is fine. But there's definitely a lot of influences here, and rightfully so, because, Armored Core is kind of where FromSoft started, and unfortunately for a lot of the fans of Armored Core, Dark Souls kind of became the big game from FromSoft. So I already used the assault boost. This is just kind of your way to fly around, but it does, you notice the bar at the bottom there, it does take energy to do so keep that in mind. And once we get out of this mission, we're able to pick our own AC. We'll go over some of the parts, and there's a lot, so so any specific order, there's 3 different spots we got to go here. It doesn't really matter what order you go in. So like you said, the blade is very good against the shielded enemies. I like the melee weapons a lot in this game. I think they're super useful, but they definitely, there's some that are hit or miss. This one's probably one of the best, which is what you start with. So, license code Thomas Kirk. License code extracted from an AC wreck in the contaminated city contains the pilot's registration data. Registration number RB18, call sign Thomas Kirk, rank 26E, affiliation independent, license expired.
This one's already expired.
So not going to help us. And I'm going to do my best to not barrel through these missions as if I'm trying to S-rank them. We'll take our time and go through it. This is not going to be a walkthrough per se, because there's chests and stuff in the game that I can't re-loot, so not necessarily. We're just going to be doing a playthrough, trying to drag out. So we'll see. This is a little hint for later on in the mission. Try to stay away from that thing for now. But yeah, trying to drag this out a little bit further, because we're close enough to Spider-Man 2 that I don't want to start another game in between then, but I've also done everything that we can in this game. And the good thing about this game is the build variety here is so massive that you can really, the replayability of this game is insane, just because, a simple change to your AC and it makes the entire game feel differently. Weapons do more stagger and maybe more damage when you're in the assault boost. And there's also, I don't know if I have it unlocked for this mission, but there is also, when you're assault boosting, you can do a kick. Oh my gosh, a lot of enemies over here, huh? Let's see if we have it unlocked, actually. Nope, okay. So the kick is just cool. I'll explain kind of all the upgrades and everything when we get out of this mission. Be much easier to do so from the menu. Okay, license code extracted from an AC wreck in the contaminated city contains the pilot's registration data. Same as last. RB37 Monkey Gordo. No rank. independent. License expires in 15 days.
It's still valid, but the pilot's rank is no good.
So no rank, not going to be helpful for us.
Head to the
On
next
to the
rig.
third location here. You also see that you do, on most of the generators in the game, you do build your bar back up at the bottom while you're in the air, but it builds up significantly faster when you've got your legs on the ground. So anytime you're running out, it's always going to be much quicker to land for a half a second, 2 seconds to fill it back up. Okay, another one, same thing as before, RB29 G7 Hakra? I don't know how the hell you say that. 22D Balam Industries. You'll hear that name a lot. Expires in 12 hours.
Corp license, easily traced. Forget it. I've picked up one more wreck, 621. Transmitting marker. Go and check it out.
So I'm going to kind of go past this stuff because I can't remember if there's a supply drop here or not.
You can use that vertical
You're going to see these, a lot of these in missions. This is just a vertical. You go on and jump, and it pops you up in the air. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think, and we are, like, really low on ammo, so we'll see if we can even do this fight. This was probably one of the... I mean, the S rank wasn't too bad. I probably had to do this mission like 5 times to get the S rank on it. But it's just because you can't use, you know, every other mission in the game, you can go back and use the stuff you've unlocked.
23. Rank fits the bill.
So we're going to get our first boss fight here. It's going to be the helicopter.
Looks like they were on you after.
I like smacking this puppy. I probably did it way too early. Oh, I guess it did take my damage there.
Take it out now, they won't have enough.
It's the boss fights that I like to lock onto. Just it makes it so much easier. Like any other FromSoft game, it makes them easier to track. Anytime you break their stagger, it's very similar to Sekiro as far as that goes. Building up the posture damage that you did in Sekiro allows you to get a kill shot. It doesn't allow you to get a kill shot here, but it does allow you to do a lot more damage. So that's kind of it's kind of your hyper focus, is building up that bar above the boss's name there.
Light shoulder ammunition at 50%.
Oh boy.
At 50%.
So you hear it tells you, you know, when your AP is getting low, which is your health, which is super handy because there's a lot of shit going on, so you don't need to look down there to see what's going on. I like breaking the posture and then hitting him with the sword. It seems to work really well in this boss. So nice and easy first takedown. You'll probably get your ass kicked the first time you play that, but that's like any classic FromSoft first boss.
Heavy combat helicopter is
It kind of demands that you learn the game systems before you're able to actually beat the boss. So you're not going to be able to really manhandle your way through much of anything in this game. AC Rec, pilot's data again, RB23, call sign Raven. Rank is F. License expires in 3 days.
Raven. That's your new name here on Rubicon.
So, C rank, like I said, we're not going to be getting real high ranks on any of the stuff that we do here. Just because we're not going for it. And a big part of the S ranks is speed, and we're kind of taking our time through it, so. Okay, now that we are back in the menu, we've completed that first mission, we have access to all our ACs. So we're going to go into assembly here, and we'll look over some of the weapons, and there's a hell of a lot of weapons. So we've got burst rifles, assault rifles, machine guns, Gatling guns. Gatling guns I used for a majority of my playthrough. Shotguns are very, very potent in this game. This Zimmerman shotgun is pretty lethal. But just a massive amount of options here. And the cool thing is you can go into any of them and you know, play a video and see all the different attacks that come with the weapons. A lot of weapons have charge attacks that go along with them. So different variations on the attacks. But anything, any conceivable mech combination you want to come up with, it's here. I mean, there's really nothing missing, at least in my head. Nothing that I can think of. Flamethrower, also super potent. There's just a lot of variations. A lot of these weapons you're not going to get until, you know, these coral weapons you're not going to get until New Game Plus Plus and towards the end of New Game Plus Plus. So I haven't really even got a chance to mess around with any of these coral weapons. So maybe we'll do that as we're playing through. There's a lot of them. They look super interesting. But, you know, you have one for each hand, and then you've got back units too, and just the same amount of options for the back. I mean, there's missiles, there's drones you can pull up to help fight with you. Any option that you can think of. And the really cool thing is once you unlock the ability, you're able to switch. You can actually put a hand weapon on your shoulder and swap between them. So if we go, let's go to AC data. Let's go to Exile. Exile is a good example. So I'm actually rocking. We can actually go into, let's go into AC tests. Be easier to show off here. So Exile is actually rocking quad shotguns. 2 Zimmermans, which are what are on right now. And these things are just, they're brutal. They do take a little bit to reload, as you saw there. Half a second maybe. But then once those need reloading, you can switch to these. And it's just, this build is super potent, the quad shotguns. But it just allows you to switch between 2 hand weapons instead of putting shoulder weapons on. So let's back out. Yeah, maybe we'll rock Exile here for a little bit. But just the colossal, I mean, I kind of showed this off last time I streamed this game, just the colossal amount of just options for parts as well. Heads and chests, arms, various different kinds of legs. We've got just the normal biped legs. We've got the reverse joints, which I'm a huge fan of. It allows you to jump a lot further and dodge a lot quicker and further, depending on which one's quad. These are really cool because you can hover in the air with them. So you can literally jump up and then hover, which is really cool. And then the tanks. I'm not the biggest fan of the tank treads. To be honest, I haven't really used them. I tried this one. It's just not my style. I see a lot of builds that use these. I have yet to try them. It's just not for me. And then various boosters and, you know, the targeting systems and generators. So you can build literally whatever you want as long as it fits into the parameters. So if you see here, it's telling me I have an energy shortfall. There's bars down here. It says current load, current energy load. Current load is the weight. Current energy load is how much energy you're putting out from your weapons and your parts. And you'll see that this generator I can't use. Not enough energy. But this one moves that bar way up, so it gives you way more energy. So there's just a colossal amount of different options here. And then the expansions, you'll unlock this as you play through the game. Assault armor is what I use the most. You'll see me using that. It's like a giant burst around you that does damage. Pulse armor is handy. I did use pulse protection on one of the S ranks. I can't remember if I streamed it or not. I think I did, but... And then terminal armor just allows you to stay alive with 1 AP if you get a kill shot on you. So as far as the ACs, this was kind of my starter. You see, it's kind of a brief evolution of that starter AC that we just had. It looks like I have a laser cannon on my left shoulder, and that's pretty much the only difference. Different parts though. Archangel, love it. It's a hover. Bazooka on the left arm. Used this for probably half of my first playthrough until I found this puppy, and this thing is just insanely potent. We can go into arena maybe just to show this puppy off. So the arena is kind of one-off, you know, one-on-one fights with other mechs, and it's like a It's probably like 30 or 40 different fights that you can do with these guys. So it makes for a very good way to test out your mech. But it does take you a little bit to unlock this.
Main system activating combat mode.
But this mech's whole style is using pistols to break the posture, and then laser cannons to just do a colossal amount of damage, what you saw there. And, oh man, can't believe we didn't get the kill there. So I really enjoy using this one. The problem with this one is all the weapons that I have equipped on this guy, they're very potent, but they don't have a lot of ammo. So if you're running a longer mission, you're going to run out of ammo and end up just kicking your enemy or punching your enemy. Once you run out of ammo on your hand weapons, you'll actually dump them. And then you can punch, but I mean, it's a punch, so it doesn't do a whole hell of a lot of damage. Kick, on the other hand, is another thing that you unlock from the OST tuning. And this is what these are chips that you get for doing the arena missions. So you get like 1 or 2 chips for each one, and they, you know, the further you go up, the more chips you get. And then you can come in here and kind of unlock this stuff. And you really need on your first playthrough to pay attention to this stuff and only get the stuff you think that's going to be handy, because you're not going to be able to unlock everything in a first playthrough. New Game Plus, you're going to have to go through in order to unlock everything. But Boost Kick, I highly recommend. It's just a good utility to have. It allows you to do a kick at the end of your boost by pressing L3 again when you get close to the enemy. Weapons Bay, that was what was allowing me to swap between the hand weapons on my shoulder that I was showing off earlier. Weight control, I mean, this is basically allows you to go in overburdened, so too heavy, and then manually purge your weapons. I don't really know that there's any purpose for it. Never used it. Manual aiming, I know a lot of people think they're going to come in and turn on manual aiming and be better, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm sure it has its purposes somewhere. I've never used it. Quick turn, same thing. And then the add-on, the expansion slots that I was talking about, that's where you unlock this here. And then you can also unlock updates to these to give you more of whatever one you pick. So I've got 3 assault armors. There is a decently long cooldown after you use it, so keep that in mind. And the rest is, you know, damage output for the specific types of weapons. So there's kinetic damage weapons, explosive damage, energy weapons, and melee weapons. This just allows you to slightly increase the damage percentage you're putting out. Same with direct hit modifier. Just helps the direct hit damage, and that is after you stagger an enemy. Once that bar fills all the way up, that's what direct hit damage is any damage you're doing while they're staggered. Access speed, totally useless, but had the stuff to do it in New Game Plus, so I did it. Just allows you to get into stuff in the game quicker, like doors and when you're hacking into stuff. And then repair kits, obviously I recommend it. Even the 3rd upgrade isn't really that great, so keep that in mind. I would go 1 upgrade through a lot of this stuff and then save the 2nd, 3rd upgrades for your 2nd playthrough. But that's just me. What else? Nest. This is custom match, online matches. I've played a couple of these so far. They are definitely fun. It's cool to see what other people are building and how they're using their builds and how, you know, your weaknesses of your build as well. So definitely not a multiplayer guy, but that has been fun the couple times that I played it. But let's hop into mission number 2 here. But I do want to see what AC I want to take, because I don't know. I'll be honest, probably the most playtime has been what used to be Beefy Boy, which has now been changed to Arasaka. And this dude's just a tank, dude. He's got dual Gatling guns and dual stun needle launchers on his shoulders. And then the tankiest build, well, one of the tankiest builds that you can build as far as AP. And yeah, I mean, there's really not much in the game this thing can't carry you through. So once you get to the, I think you unlock the stun needle in that ice worm mission. Once you get this, dude, this build becomes very, 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 very strong. And I think I just built one. I don't know if I saved it. Yeah, Stinger is a biped version of that same. You know, a little bit lighter weight, a little bit quicker. I don't know what we want to rock for the early game here. You know, I haven't used that too much. Hornet, I'm a big fan of. Let's rock Hornet. Hornet's dual shotguns, and then the laser. I can't remember what the hell the name of the melee weapon is. Laser Slicer, which is basically a giant twin blade from the, you know, previous FromSoft titles. Super fun to use, and super potent build. And I made him look like Hornet, which is cool. I might have actually got this off of a build. There's a lot of these that I got off of build videos on YouTube, so I don't want to take credit for a lot of this. This one I built, Archangel I built. Cold Steel is from a video, and then Arasaka is kind of a a spin on that build. Hornet's definitely from Shinobi I built myself. I don't know if Exile I built myself. It's really, they're really all running together at this point. Blue Shift I think I built. It doesn't really matter, but don't want to take credit for the builds, because a lot of these are builds that I found. So let's hop into destroy the artillery installations.
The client doesn't care who does this job, as long as it gets done.
So the only downside to doing it this way is that we're not going to get a lot of the story stuff that you get when you come back from the mission. There is a lot of story stuff with Walter talking to you. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. I guess theoretically I could hammer through my playthrough that I'm on right now and then start fresh. And really, I guess that might be the better way of doing it. Just so, you know, the story stuff is there. So I like to go under the bridge here, typically, just because you got to get up behind these things. You can't damage them from the front. But one shot usually is enough to take them down, especially with the Zimmermans.
Move on to the next site, 621. You're up against mass-produced MTs. Eliminate them as necessary.
Enemy attack! That's the artillery! Fight back! Yeah, that culprit's dog. Don't give him another inch.
Yeah, this build is just so fun to play, man. And it's actually pretty potent for boss fights too, because of that twin blade. Once you stagger them, pulling out that twin blade and doing the full kind of spin on the twin blade does a hell of a lot of damage. So you'll notice once I take these guys down, let me go off to the side here. You'll notice that. So we have our dodge, right? That uses up energy. We also have a dodge while we're in our flight here, which just allows you to dodge left and right. It's very, very kind of fight specific when you're going to use that. We'll see once we get towards the end of the game here. There's a mission where you almost have to use it. So again, not trying to S rank it, so we're not trying to kind of barrel through here. So I do want to take out as many enemies as I can. And not, oh boy, and not every mission in the game is going to have a boss fight at the end of it, and that this is one of those missions that does not have a boss fight at the end of it. And the other thing is, once you finish your mission, so whatever the mission is, the mission ends immediately. So if you're trying to, you know, build up money by killing all the enemies, you want to do that before you finish the final objective, because as you see now, there's a lot of enemies left in here, but I already completed the objective, so we're moving on. See what crappy rank we got. C probably. Oh my goodness, S. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't really that fast, so surprised that we got an S rank on it. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think if I want to continue on or if I just want to go into the missions, and that way we can start a fresh playthrough and get all the story stuff, or if I just want to do it in replay. It's chapter 4, I think there's 5 chapters. Yeah, we'll just keep barreling through with the replay. I mean, you're really just missing the kind of radio chatter that you would get, but whatever. It's FromSoft's problem for not allowing you to start a second playthrough. It also really annoys me games that don't allow you to start a New Game Plus playthrough at any time. Like the first Spider-Man game does it perfectly. At any point, you can start a New Game Plus. Other games, like if you're in the middle, you know, sometimes like there have been games where I've started a New Game Plus, played it for a little bit, and then moved on to something else, and then come back and I want to start a New Game Plus. And I can't. I have to finish the playthrough that I'm on. Sekiro is a perfect example of that, which can be very annoying. Oh man, I love that thing.
They're just mass-produced MTs. Wipe them out 621.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Running out of energy here. Let's see if we can show off the kick real quick. Who wants to get kicked in the face? Let's go over here. I think there's more enemies over here. Boom! Oh, it feels so good to pull that off too. But you see, it does do a pretty decent amount of damage versus the punching, which certainly doesn't. Bio, you ever play any of the other Armored Core games? Okay, I think that about does it. Hit our scan there. Down on the D-pad allows you to scan. The different heads in the game have different lengths that the scan goes out and different cooldowns for the scan as well. A rank, not bad. Oh, goodness, excuse me. On top of, I didn't really explain this, through the first part of your playthrough, you're going to unlock different various trainings that you can go through. And, I mean, we can hop in here just to show it off. They're like very brief little VR training exercises that you can go through. But I highly recommend doing them because A, it allows you to see, because they all have different mechs that or ACs that you're using. So it allows you to see what different builds feel like. And then you also unlock parts and weapons for doing them. So they're highly worth doing. And it allows you to get the systems down too. But yeah, there's just little kind of small interactions that you go through here, and then you'll move on to a different section. And a lot of them have 2 or 3 things that you have to do. So we'll see, we'll go up here and it will give us another kind of training tip. Boosters and mobility. AC fitted with boosters that have short QB reload time spec, which allows it to outpace enemies. So this is what I was talking about, where you just dodge way faster, and you'll notice it even from Hornets dodging. You see how much further we're dodging and how much quicker we're dodging with the biped legs. So that also adds to it. Short range engagements, this is just explaining, like, on top of the targeting system, there's a ton of different stats. So some of them help with long range targeting, some of them help with short range, so it all depends what you're going for, what your build's going for. If you're doing a melee build, obviously it'd be way more important to get close range targeting assist. I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever used this shoulder, like, shotgun thing, but I'm really digging it. And that's it. So it's just all stuff like that, different mechs, and then you unlock parts as well. So it's well worth in the early game doing that, because you do unlock some really good early game weapons just from doing that training. But let's move on to the transport. We can probably show off another build here. Let's do something wildly different. Let's do let's do Archangel, the quad. Just so I can show. It's been a hot minute since I used this build, so.
Keep building your rep.
Main system activating combat mode.
Alright, so we're going to be kind of tasked with taking down a bunch of transport helicopters here, and if you see, if you jump into the air with the quad, and then tap X again, you can hover around. Now it does use the bar, our energy at the bottom there, but you see how slow it goes down. Unless we, you know, get more height there. So anytime you're holding X to jump up, it goes really fast, but once you hit X again, it goes a lot slower. But it's just cool to be up here. You know, we're kind of out of range of them, a lot of the stuff in the game. And you're just raining hell down on top of them, which is super cool. Oh man, I thought you were dead. They are definitely slower. You'll notice. A lot slower to maneuver, a lot slower of a dodge. But, again, all depends what you're going for. It's definitely handy to have the bazooka on the left hand, because there's a big splash damage for it. So you notice there, my posture got, I keep wanting to say posture. My stagger gauge build up, and that's what kind of made that loud noise and allowed me to not move there for a couple seconds. So while you can stagger enemies, you can also be staggered yourself. I definitely am used to the more high-speed builds, so it's been a while since I used this build. Probably not the mission to test this out on, but it's fine. We can make it work.
Here, fight back. We're no match for an AC. Have no fear.
The other good thing is the heavier builds allow you to shoot bazookas, the heavier weapons, without stopping your movement. The tank ones are really good. I don't use that big of weapons, so I don't really have a reason to. So let's see if we can take down this tetrapod from up in the air here. Ooh, just out of the range of its melee attack. Definitely a slow fight with this build. You know, my dual Gatling gun and stun needle fight mech could take this fight down pretty easily. So it's all depends on the build. You know what I mean? So if you're struggling with the game, maybe it's not the right build for the job. Okay, that should be all the transport helicopters for this mission.
Return to base.
C rank. So you'll notice there are a lot of missions that are very short, bite-sized missions that you go through. And then there's definitely longer ones in the mission. And really, you don't... I'm trying to think. I don't even think you really get like a major mission until Chapter 2. These are all kind of... You're kind of building your rep. You know what? Let's rock the... What mission do we have coming up here? Destroy the tester AC, and I've got the perfect build for this. And this is really where I found this build is very, very potent is in this fight. So let's load up Valkyrie. Let's make sure that I have the right assault armors on. This mission here, once you unlock this is your way to farm up money very, very quickly. 95,000 comb per time that you run this mission. And I'll see, it's been a hot minute since I did this. We'll see if we can pull it off. You can make this mission less than a minute long.
Stay sharp, 621.
So, as soon as we land in, we're going to assault boost towards our target over here.
Now's the time, 621.
As soon as we get in range for our targeting system, lock on. And then, oops, use your assault boost, and then just alternate firing your shoulder weapons and your pistols until this dude is down. And it won't take much. I missed my first attack there, so that was the problem. There we go. Done. Nice and easy. And you can run that mission infinitely. I probably did that mission 200 times to get money.
Enemy AC destroyed. That's it for this job.
Plus, I just really like this build is just really fun to play because it's super agile. I used this build right here through a good portion of the game, up until I got those stun needles, which wasn't until much later in the game. So let's, just for the sake, is this like head deep into the unknown territory, find a core convergence, eliminate your pursuer? Yeah, let's stay away from that. I was going to show you just kind of how the setup of the actual game works instead of just going through the replay missions. We'll see. I might change my mind on the way I want to do this playthrough, because we are missing a hell of a lot of story stuff, and a lot of the story stuff is told in background. As you can tell, there's not a lot going on story-wise. It's a classic FromSoft story. You know what I mean? There's not a lot going on in the forefront as far as cutscenes and that stuff. You'll get a lot towards the end of the game, but a lot of that story is told in these kind of talks back at base. And we are unfortunately missing that with the way that we're doing it here.
Main system activating combat mode.
Baylor Group AC Squad Red Guns reporting for duty. Commence mission. Attack! Get in there, you maggots!
Great. An independent merc. It's the wise guy who decided the Red Gun should be taking care of some freelance.
We'll handle this mission ourselves. One target destroyed.
Hey, freelance. Told you why we're here.
Sounded like it hurt.
Contest will climb the wall. This is just target practice. When we're done, the locals' little base is next.
Can't take yourself away from chatting all day long. Why don't you start a sewing?
So you can see just the variety in builds here versus Archangel, which was very slow, kind of a methodical play style as you're flying around in the sky. This one's much quicker, and the damage on it's much more potent than anything that I have on Archangel. And Archangel was a very early build, like maybe even my second build.
Takes care of the frontline MTs. That was just the warm-up. Look alive, maggots! 2 generators to go. Keep moving, 621. Hope you're enjoying the field trip, kid. Don't wet your pants now.
Does this guy ever shut up?
Good fight. No luck for the sewing club, I see. That attitude won't get you far on Rubicon. Hope you pilot better than you sew.
Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
One target remaining, 621.
Do you hear me, you corporate vultures? The Rubiconians will never yield. You're going home in armored coffins.
Say, where is this last guy at?
March
Alright,
to
found him.
Nash. We stand as one.
We're gonna go up. This is gonna be, I think this is our first fight with another AC in the game. And the difference between the ACs is they can actually heal themselves just like we can. I can't remember if this dude does it or not. Guess we'll find out.
Independent mercenary. Why be a mere pawn? Honor is never
You see just how freaking, yeah, it doesn't look like he would have healed himself already, I think, if he was going to.
50%.
You can see just how freaking potent this build is, though.
scavengers.
Okay, next we're gonna rocket on up here. Probably gonna heal too, because took a lot of damage there. That's a downside to this build, is this build's very, very squishy. But, I mean, you know that going into it, because it's more agile and quick build. It's not going to have the armor that your heavier builds are going to have. And you'll see, like I said, you constantly run out of ammo with this. So I'm already out of ammo in my right hand. But we're at the end of the mission. S rank somehow. Sweet. So this is a new game plus alternate version of the mission that we just went on. We'll skip that for now and we'll move on to destroy the weaponized mining ship. And I think I'm going to take... I don't know what build I want for this, because I need something that's beefy. Let's take Arasaka, just to be safe. This is kind of the first big mission in the game, big boss-like enemy in the game, I guess is the best way to put it. Outside of that first boss that we fought. So the basic setup here... Oh, you know what I could do? Oh my god, I wasn't even thinking. Let's go back here. Because I think that we can actually... Oops. Let's go back. Because I think I can actually play the briefing for the mission, which is a good chunk of the stuff that I thought we were missing. But let's double check. Yes, repeat briefing. Okay, so that's what we'll do. Then we'll just be missing the stuff when we get back from the mission, which is smaller stuff. At the beginning of every mission, you're going to get a mission briefing.
Got a job for you, 621. This one's a request from the Arquebus Group.
Raven, this request comes from Schneider, an Arquebus subsidiary. The mission will take place in the Bonadea dunes of Western Belius. Our coral investigation there is being blocked by the Strider, a Rubicon Liberation Front mining ship. You are to destroy it. The Strider is a mobile resource base that was extensively weaponized by the Liberation Front. Call it the crowning glory of their efforts to militarize into an anti-corporate force. Your attack will focus on the Eye, a giant laser cannon connected directly to the main generator. It's protected by a shield, which is powered by auxiliary sub-generators. These should be your first targets. This concludes the briefing. Good luck.
So there we go. Totally forgot that you could do that. I don't know... I don't think you can replay the other stuff. But we can go, let's just briefly go back through the missions we've already done, just to clean stuff up a little bit here.
This is an open call from the Balaam Group, one of the corporate forces occupying Rubicon.
Attention all independent mercenaries! This request comes from our affiliate, Dafeng. The Rubicon Liberation Front has deployed Baus artillery throughout the contaminated city. The city itself has no strategic value, but we cannot allow them to hinder expansion of the Coral Survey. Show us your ambition. Destroy the Liberation Front's artillery. Bonus pay will be awarded for destroying their MTs. We want the enemy weakened. Consider it an opportunity to prove yourself. Impress us, mercenaries!
So we see through the early game here, there's a lot of corporate warfare going on. There's two competing companies, and you're kind of a mercenary stuck in between, working for both of them. And a lot of the choices you make through the game will allow you to kind of side with one side or the other.
One of the extraplanetary corporate forces.
To all independent mercenaries, this request comes from Schneider of the Archibus Group. The operation will take place in Grid 135, Southern Bellius. Your objective is to destroy an MT squad sent by Dafeng, a Balaam company, and a competitor. Grid 135 is a key foothold in Archibus's efforts to conduct a coral survey in the contaminated city. You, the independent mercenaries, are the key to maintaining our lead in the coral survey race. The Archibus Group looks forward to news of your success. Briefing over, and happy hunting.
Okay, and then 1, 2, 3 more. Just crank these all out just so we go over the missions that we just did. And then we'll just continue doing it as we pick new missions.
Raven, this request comes from Dafeng, one of our affiliates. The group has committed to use of military force to handle the Rubicon Liberation Front. Target for this mission is a squad of transport choppers. Destroy them. You'll encounter guerrilla resistance from Baus mass-produced MTs. They're no great concern. You performed adequately in your last sortie, Raven. This did not go unnoticed. We will be watching with interest to see what you bring to the team.
So we have Handler Walter, who's our handler. And then there's another female that is kind of, I don't know, they kind of hint that she's like a voice in your head, I think. I don't really know. Very muddled story going on.
Dafeng, one of our adversaries allied with Balaam, has introduced a new tester AC. It's a sample model from an external architect, featuring extensive assembly optimizations. In the hands of an experienced pilot, it will pose a threat far too great to ignore. This brings me to the request. Intercept delivery of the tester AC and destroy it. The Archibus Group looks forward to news of your success. Briefing over, and happy hunting.
Okay, last one, and then we'll move on.
Got a job for you, 621. You're joining an operation planned by Balaam HQ. Check the briefing.
Heard the good news from Walter, did ya? Good. Sit your ass down and listen. Balaam's moving in on the Gallia Dam complex, one of the Liberation Front's bases. The objective is to destroy their lifeline and make those sacks of shit beg for mercy. I'll be sending 2 good-for-nothing maggots from the Red Guns, Gun 4 Volta and Gun 5 Iguazu. You're just gonna be tagging along on ass-wiping duty. I'm assigning you the call sign Gun 13, a lucky little number that just became available. Gun 13, sound off! Good enough. Now go get ready! We're going on a field trip, kiddo!
Alright, so let's go to our next mission here. We already really watched this, but we'll watch it just to clean it up and start fresh.
Got a job for you, 621. This one's a request from the Archibus Group.
Raven, this request comes from Schneider, an Archibus subsidiary. The mission will take place in the Bona Dea dunes of Western Bellius. Our coral investigation there is being blocked by the Strider, a Rubicon Liberation Front mining ship. You are to destroy it. The Strider is a mobile resource base that was extensively weaponized by the Liberation Front. Call it the crowning glory of their efforts to militarize into an anti-corporate force. Your attack will focus on the Eye, a giant laser cannon connected directly to the main generator. It's protected by a shield, which is powered by auxiliary sub-generators. These should be your first targets. This concludes the briefing. Good luck.
Alright, so this is like the first big pain in the ass mission of the game. And it's not that the mission itself is difficult, it's the entry getting to the actual mining ship that can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. And you'll see why. And luckily, you know, with our beefy boy here, it's not as bad, but if you have a, you know, a lightweight AC, this specific attack that this thing does can one-shot you.
First, get through all that dust to make contact with the Strider.
So we're gonna head towards the silhouette of the ship here in the... And you can take this stuff down if you really want to. Not necessary. And you're gonna see that bright flash. This thing here is so hard to dodge, bro. It does, you see, I mean, it did like, what, a third of my health, quarter of my health? And that's with this super beefy tank build. But luckily, you get up here quick enough, you really only need to deal with it once.
Now you're up close and personal.
As you see there.
Take out one of its legs and bring it to a halt.
And we're going to get up here and we're going to try to take this leg down. Just to give us a kind of entrance.
Confirmed. Strider leg compromised.
So we'll wait for that leg to collapse down a little bit so we can jump up there. And we're gonna hop on up this way.
Now we've got a foothold to get on the deck.
You can take this stuff down if you want to. I'm not doing a lot of damage, but you do want to get up here quickly because they will try to stop you from jumping up to it. Okay, now we've got, what, 5 targets, 4 targets? So we need to go around the ship and hit these generators. So one is over here, and you are kind of in the firing range of that blue laser. It's not as, doesn't do as much damage as it does when you're coming up, but it does do a heck of a lot of damage, so just be careful. I don't know if I can make it up here. It looks like it just enough. Try to stay behind this thing while it's shooting, at least. Uh-oh. Okay, just hit that and dip out on the corner here as quickly as you can. Of course, I'm out of energy. Looks like there's another one right here. And I want to get my... I think it might be better to go from behind the ship. The other one's kind of down there, so it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to. Okay, now that we've done that,
Shield is offline. Head to the front segment and hit the target.
try to make our way back up to that eye thing that was shooting at us. Oh, I'm not gonna make it. Oh boy, I'm not gonna make it. Let's take the... Maybe this thing can get us up there. Oof, just enough. Okay, so now we really just need to go damage this thing. I'm gonna heal. You can use these things to duck behind when it's shooting, and it does have a little bit of a cooldown too. But you see just how potent this build is, right? Like the boss fight's done. Literally took, what, 2 seconds? So this is really kind of a puzzle fight, I guess is the best way to put it. It's not even a puzzle fight, because you know where the locations of everything are. All the generators you have to take down, but once you get that down, it's eventually going to blow up, and it's going to tell you to fly off this way somewhere. Oops, don't want to go that way. There's our waypoint.
Damn hyenas. Devastate the planet. Combined with Rubicon.
See that, 621? The Strider's blowing itself up. A fitting end for something built to fail.
So again, that's definitely one of those cool missions that's cool to experience for the first time. Okay, moving on. The next mission in our replay mission list here is going to be an alternate version of that mission. So that was destroy the weaponized mining ship. There is an escort the weaponized mining ship, and I believe this is a New Game Plus Plus exclusive, either New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus, one of the others. But we're going to move on to Operation Wall Climber, which I believe is going to be our first actual boss fight. Oops, let's watch the briefing.
This request comes straight from Archivist headquarters. They want you to assist with a mission the corporations are calling Operation Wall Climber.
This is V2 Snell, leader of the Vesper 2nd Squad. I will chair the briefing for this mission. This is an operation of my own design. Consider it a privilege to be called to participate. You will be attacking The Wall, a key trading outpost fortified by the Rubicon Liberation Front. The rabble have formed a defensive line comprised of artillery and MT squads. Break through the line, then make your way to the top of the wall. There you shall find the Juggernaut, a mobile heavy artillery platform. Destroy it. V4 will also be participating in this mission, infiltrating through a separate route. However, be aware that Balaam has also taken a crack at the wall, only for their vainglorious hopes to be dashed. Do try not to die like a dog out there.
Okay, so we are going to take the same AC.
Your objective is to take the Liberation Front fortress, the Wall. Show them you're worth the credits, 621.
And we'll do this mission full out, try to clear out as many enemies as we can. I'm gonna go up this way first.
Start by clearing the way for
A
Archivist.
little safer to approach from
Take out the
this
Gatling
angle.
cannons protecting the city, and the Baus tetrapod
Just need to
MTs
watch
are in. There's heavy fire
the
coming
two
from
shooting at us over here.
621. Keep an eye out for cover.
You'll never climb the wall, corporation dog! Coral! Rubicon!
Drop down here. There's enemies down here as well. There is. You see just how much damage those, and you'll really see it at this boss fight, how much damage the stun needles put out. But we do have a couple targets that we have to take down, and it's kind of the artillery here protecting the city and the wall. A lot of the missions in the game have combat logs. That's another way for you to unlock new weapons. And specific enemies in the area are carrying combat logs. So I believe the one over here is who's carrying it in this mission. One of those guys I just killed. And then I like to kind of rocket closer to the wall here, regain our energy, and then we're going to take down all the artillery lining the wall. Three there, and then there's more above us here on another ledge. Super cool view too. Okay. We're gonna go clear out the artillery on the other side of the wall here before we hop down and take the target down. So the Gatling guns are nice. They don't have to be reloaded, but they can overheat. So you'll notice the bars when I'm locked on to someone. You can see the bars that's on the outside on the left and right there. You can see the red building up on them. That's the heat on the gun. If that gets too high, then you're going to have to go through a cooldown period. So just keep an eye on that. A lot of the weapons in the game have that. Okay, now we can surprise this dude. Oh, it really does, dude. The stun needles in this game melt practically everything that you're going to come in contact with. I mean, like, that should have been a really hard fight right there. Well, not a hard fight, but much harder than it ended up being. Alright, we're going to head into the wall here. We got a couple of rooms of enemies to take down. Just MTs and these little, whatever the hell these little things are called.
You're fast. Guess you're sharper than they say. I'll have to step up my own game. Robert Vesper is an elite. But remember, even Balaam couldn't crack the wall. He kept on too much.
That's almost my one complaint with this game, is that this build is just, like, it almost needs nerfed because there's really no reason to use anything else, you know what I mean? And I'm probably going to use, you know, different builds for the playthrough here just because I use this build for practically everything. So we're heading up to the boss fight for the end of the mission here. And this boss fight can suck, just because the only real way to damage him is to hit him from behind. So we're going to hit our first supply drop here. This is the thing I was talking about. It allows you to replenish your ammo and your repair kits. And then we'll see. Sometimes it goes rather easy with this build. Yeah, easy S rank for boss fights, absolutely.
You must be Raven. One of the infamous handler Walter's hounds. Interesting. You Ready to climb the wall? That's the Juggernaut. Heavy mobile cannon. I wouldn't recommend taking
So always jump in the air there because he's always going to rocket over to you.
up with steel hands. I'll distract it while you hit its blind spot.
And this is really the only way that you can damage him, is this kind of piece in the back here.
This is V4. Understood. Raven, I just got an update from Snail Command. Got enemy reinforcements incoming. If I don't intercept them, we're both toast. We'll have to finish.
I mean, you can almost stun lock him with the stun needle.
So much for our decoy.
If you can time it right, which obviously I did not. Oh, of course you're going to back right into me. Holy buckets. Definitely not the smoothest I've ever fought this guy. By a long shot. Be lucky to get a frickin' B rank. Alright, that should do it. Jeez, almighty. That was rough. That was rough. Thankfully I already got the S rank on this, on all the missions.
Confirmed. Juggernaut destroyed.
If you do it correctly, you can really stun lock him and kill him before Rusty even leaves.
It seems he knew who
But you gotta be, your timing's gotta be on point.
I've taken that contingency into account.
So that should be about a freaking B rank, C rank. A rank, okay, well, not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Okay, on to the next.
Got a job for you, 621. One of the Balaam companies has put in a request.
Attention, Gun 13 Raven. This request comes from our affiliate Dafeng. We're conducting an investigation into the Vespers, Arquebus's augmented human squad. Currently, our focus is on their 4th squad leader, V4 Rusty. Sweep the route Rusty took during Operation Wall Climber and retrieve combat logs from the wrecks he left on his way in. The wall is now under Arquebus's control, and they've stationed their MT squads there for the Coral survey. As such, he'll be targeting the brief window where their main force is deployed elsewhere. Keep an eye on the time and retrieve as many logs as you can. That concludes the briefing. We expect prompt results, Gun 13.
So I think I'm gonna bring different AC for this one. But who is the question? Let's bring Hornet Man.
You should be used to Rubicon by now. Time to take a break from shooting up the place.
Main system activating combat mode.
So we're gonna be kind of timed here. We got 4 minutes to find these wrecks.
Combat logs recording engagements with V4 Rusty.
Try to see if I can remember where they're all at. System log extracted from a wreck allows one to examine the operation of a craft prior to its destruction. The log indicates the FCS was operating at maximum capacity, and yet it was still unable to track the enemy. It was completely overwhelmed by V4 Rusty's speed. This is clearly a one-sided engagement. There's another one down here. You can fight and move as long as you stay close to whatever you're hacking into or collecting. Okay, I think the next one is right around the corner here. Yep. Video record extracted from a wreck allows one to discern the assembly of V4 Rusty's AC Steel Haze. Steel Haze appears to be assembled from a Schneider high-mobility frame equipped with weapons that allow for swift, agile action. Notably, Rusty appears to favor kinetic weaponry that Vespers members would not normally use. So the one downside, obviously, to the shotguns is their range kind of sucks ass, obviously, like shotguns do and everything. But super, super handy as long as you're right in the enemy's face. Comms record. Can't beat the top Vesters. We're as good as dead. At least Zia, however you say that, is off duty. She's the Liberation Front's little sister. She doesn't deserve to be here on the battlefield. She can still love and be loved. Have a family.
Worthless.
Okay, we're gonna drop down here. I'm gonna skip reading most of this crap. So this is a boss fight that you can either do or ignore. Probably. I mean, we can see if we can do it. Oh. Alright, the other one, I think, might be up here.
Enemy AC destroyed. Get back to work, 621.
Yes.
Keep an eye on the clock. Either of them sending logs. This log is interesting. I'll make a copy. Nothing the corpse need worry about.
It's appear that I'm missing one, but I can't for the life of me remember where the hell it was at. Go check up this way because we didn't really wrap around the corner here. Oh, was this? I thought we grabbed this already.
This is the last one.
Must have been that one back there.
Very interesting. This could be worth something. We've still got time. I've checked out every promising wreck. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
Okay, that's it for the combat logs. Prisoner rescue. I gotta be honest, I hate this fucking mission, so we're probably gonna just... This is and I believe this is a New Game Plus, or a New Game Plus Plus exclusive. I can't remember. I think if you escort the mining ship versus destroying it, you unlock the prisoner rescue. So we destroyed it, so we're gonna skip this, because this mission sucks. I mean, I've got it down now. I could probably breeze through it pretty easily, just because I've done it so many times, but move on to this one. Okay, this is the... What ASU do I want to use here? Yeah, man, good luck. That mission, I don't know what it is, dude. I just hate... I hate escort missions is really the basis of it in any game. First ending for me is I killed Carla and Walter and sided with Air. Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, I'll try not to spoil as much for your next couple playthroughs. What the hell do I want to bring on this? Alright, let's just go... Let's do whatever, dude. Let's do the duel. I don't know. This might bite me in the ass at the end of this mission, but we'll see.
Some advice before you go, 621.
Oh, shit. You know what I forgot to do? Forgot to watch that damn mission briefing.
System activating combat mode.
Alright, let's watch this.
Got a job for you, 621. The client is the Rubicon Liberation Front. Here's the briefing.
The loss of the wall dealt us a heavy blow. Yet, we believe you are more than a corporate pawn. Perhaps we can even work together. I want you to investigate Baus Arsenal No. 2, a major MT factory in the Bellius region. The Baus Corporation sells to anyone, but they've been essential to maintaining our firepower. Now, their second arsenal has gone silent overnight. If it were only a comms failure, a simple check-in would do. But, well, after the Strider, more cautious voices have gained influence. This isn't our finest moment, but would appreciate your help.
Those colorways, yeah, man. I'll be honest, I can't take credit for a couple of them because a couple of them were straight from YouTube. That one's mine. This one's mine. This one's mine. Cold Steel's from YouTube. Supernova, not sure. Hornet is from YouTube, unfortunately, but it does look fucking sweet, so I had to do it. Arasaka is mine. Honed Edge is mine. Shinobi is mine. Nebula, I don't remember Nebula. Chef is not. Exile is, maybe? I don't know, dude. They're all running together, to be honest with you. Redshift might be. Solar is definitely mine. Stinger is definitely mine. And then feel like this one's not. But yeah, dude, it's like one of the best parts of the game is figuring, you know, what looks sweet, what works. It's definitely the replayability here is through the roof.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, Zodiac's sweet. Yeah, the only downside is I'm not really sold on the build per se. Just because that was like my coral. I think I have like coral missiles on the shoulders. I was trying to, you know, I was trying out some different weapons. So this mission has got a bunch of invisible enemies, as you see here. And I can't remember what build I used to S rank this. It definitely was not this one. Because I'm pretty sure that I was using the songbirds, which make this mission kind of a joke. So you can keep scanning. I kind of know where all the enemies pop up. There's one that's going to be here. They usually shoot in clusters of 3, and then they cool down so you can move in. And then another one starts behind you right here. I want to use that whip weapon so bad, dude. I just don't know if I don't know what build I can put it on. I could have swore that there was a third dude that was jumping behind him, but doesn't look like it. So normally I would come up behind here when I was doing this S rank. You can pop up in here and then scan and hit the dude with the songbirds from here. And then there's another guy over here. But I mean, I guess we can just try to jump in. Oh my god, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Where the fuck is this guy? Oh, there he is. Alright, that kind of prevents you. If you do it that way, it prevents you from getting ambushed here at the door. Because they won't attack you when you're coming through this area. They'll wait until you open this door on the inside here, or get to the door maybe. I don't even know if you have to open it or attempt to open it. Now, this is where shit's going to get a little hairy probably with this build. We're going to drop down here. And I definitely remember, I definitely should have used the songbirds here. Just because this can kind of be, you're going to get ambushed. Come over here and kind of watch this wall over here. You'll see him drop in. So there's going to be a melee dude on the ground there. I like to try to leave him for last, but man, am I squishy as hell with this build. Holy shit.
Another dealt with. Stay focused, 621.
Oh, you're up here somewhere. Where are you? Must have moved. Oh boy. I mean, half of the problem is just finding these fucking things. That's why having the songbirds, and they do a lot of damage too.
finish
Alright.
them off.
That was the final one. Now we can take down this guy. I can fucking lock onto him. There we go. There was the assault boost that I was talking about earlier. Okay, not too bad.
Seems that's the last of them. This wasn't a simple check-in after all. Head back and rest up, 621.
Yeah, I would really like to use that whip. I can't remember what the whip is called, but it just looks so cool every time I see enemies using it in the game. I actually fought in the nest against somebody that was using it the other day. That would be a melee weapon. I also just like the animation on this. It just looks cool that you're spinning and throwing stuff. Plasma thrower? Yes, plasma thrower. I also really like that. I think you can whip it around. Like, that is so cool, dude. I want so badly to use it on a build. I just don't know where I would fit it in. I mean, I guess I could probably theoretically fit it in on this. Let's see here. Or I could switch Zodiac up. Because I think Zodiac's using... You know what? Just because you're in here, I'm not even gonna go through that because there's a lot of end game shit in there. I could fit it in here with the laser shotguns as a backup melee weapon. Yeah, let's try it. What's the next one? Obstruct the mandatory inspection. Okay, that is a new game plus. So this is it. Attack the watch point, and we are definitely not going to be using this AC for this mission. So let's switch back to Arasaka. The good old go-to. And we will attack the watch point.
This is a rather personal request from a friend of mine. It concerns a certain facility, a watch point. Once, it regulated the underground flow of coral. Now it serves to monitor the dormant veins. I want you to attack it. Your objective will be to destroy the sensor valve at its core. The watch point is kept secure by SG, the planetside PCA force, which means it's too hot for the corporations to be seen there. In other words, we're flying strictly solo on this one.
So if I remember correctly, this is most people's first big test in the game, if I'm remembering correctly. There's a chance I could be not remembering correctly. You would think I would know. I've played these missions probably 10 times a piece. But I'm pretty sure this is the first major boss fight that you're going to encounter. You know, as you can see, even though we're using some builds that are a little more endgame, nothing has really put up too much resistance so far. That's about to change. Now, granted, it might make it look kind of easy with Arasaka. We'll see. I don't know.
Independent mercenary. Get in there and get to work.
I know if this is the boss fight I'm thinking of, I think Chef talked about it in the Discord and asked what was the best way to take him down easily.
If anyone sees you,
And
handle it.
I told him about Valkyrie, and you watched me use Valkyrie earlier on the Destroy the Tester AC. I believe that's the build I used to take him down the first time. It's been so long since I played this mission the first time that I just simply don't remember. I like coming around the corner there and taking that down, because then you have a you have a little bit easier of a shot over to this one, and then the rest are just MTs.
Code 7-8, requesting backup.
I can't get through to HQ.
Cavalry is incoming. Wipe them out, 621. Confirmed. Enemy squad destroyed. Move on to the next area.
Okay, that should take care of that. And then for here, I like to get up here, get all my energy back, get to the edge, and then I'm going to rocket around the corner and fly right at this,
Code 1-8, all units deployed for combat.
whatever the hell that thing is. And then be careful, because there's more over here. You can kind of duck behind the wall here, and it will miss you. And then you can handle the snipers.
Code 3-1C, we've taken critical damage.
Updating your marker data. Proceed in the direction indicated.
Okay, takes care of that. Now we're going to hop up here. And this might actually be our first actual fight
That's
with
the
an
launch point
AC.
control center.
An AC that can heal, at least.
Make your way in.
Or repair, rather.
Attacking a watch point. You're incorrigible, Handler Walter. How many of your dogs must I kill before you learn?
Something tells me it's not going to go that way, bud, but
Is that
at least you're confident.
Sua?
Pitiful dog. I feel sorry for you.
Ooh, nice dodge.
You may have survived a little longer. If only you had a different master.
Oh man, maybe it is going to go that way. Been a hot minute since I did this mission. Oh, nope, never mind. Forgot I got the stun needles. He didn't even get a heal off. I think he can heal, but he definitely didn't get the chance to, so maybe I'm
On
wrong.
him, 621. You did good today. Back to work. Penetrate
Okay.
the control center and destroy the target.
Here we go. I'm gonna grab the supply. And we already saw the cutscene, so we're just gonna skip the cutscene, and then we're gonna drop down into this giant hole here.
There. Destroy the device in the center.
Take that down. Boss fight over. End the mission. I wish. I wish that were the case.
Good job, 621. We're done here. Head back to base. Wait, no. 621, get out of there.
Who are you? An older type of augmented human, 4th generation. Have we made contact? I am Air, a Rubiconian. Please, you must wake up. Before your consciousness is forever scattered in the coral flow.
So that was the woman that I was talking about earlier.
Augmented human C4621. Vital signs confirmed. Disabling autopilot. Establishing comms link with him.
Raven. I've identified an approaching enemy.
And here we go, the first big boss fight of the game.
Of your brainwaves. And maintain contact to support you. Main system.
Valtreus. So, fly towards him. We need to break that stupid shield of his before we can actually do some real damage to him. But you see how just insane this build really is. I mean, we're already halfway, and I've hit him one time. Try to stay away from his melee attacks, because they can do some work if you're not paying attention. Oh man, that would have been the kill shot, probably.
Picking up a massive heat signature. Evasive action, Raven.
Oh my god. A lot of freaking missiles, isn't it?
The enemy can't take much more.
I keep losing my lock on. Not entirely sure why that's happening. It does seem like you can avoid a good chunk of the missiles if you just fly right at them. And that's Valtreus. Down nice and easy. It'd take a lot more damage than I normally do in this mission, but been a hot minute since I fought him.
Enemy systems down. It's silent.
Again, Valkyrie, it's probably a more suitable build for the early game. I'll show that off here when we get back into the menu.
Raven. You need rest. But first, a warning. The coral surge you were swept up in? That was just a glimpse. A premonition of the storm of flame that will burn Rubicon.
So coral is like a resource that's on this planet that pretty much everyone's fighting over. It can be used for weapons, it can be used for different parts in your AC. It does seem like it can also be maybe used as a drug. Because there's like groups in here that I think are like abusing it. I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's so the story's kind of muddled. But in this portion of the game, you're not going to have the stun needles when you first get here. So the build that I think I took it down with is Valkyrie, and Valkyrie's a pretty simple build. 2 of the pistols, however you say those, Coquelette, sure. And then the laser cannons on both shoulders. And then the other parts are pretty much the lightest parts that you probably have up until this point. And he does pretty respectable damage with the laser cannons. So the basic premise here, and it's really what I was doing with the last build that I just did the fight with, is breaking his stagger with my hand weapons, and then hitting him with the shoulder weapons, both at the same time once it's down. And obviously the stun needles You know, it's like Busby said, they melt the enemies. Pretty good. But for the early game, so do these. So I think that might wrap us up for today, because I think that is Chapter 1. It is. It's the first mission of Chapter 2 coming up. There is an alternate mission here. Again, it's a later part of the game. It's just you get various new missions once you get a New Game Plus, and then you get a couple alt missions too, or slight variations on the missions that you take on. But that will wrap us up for today. Subscribe to us over here on Showboys Gaming. Check out our other channel, Showboys Podcast. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers on Showboys Podcast, we'll be giving away a Switch OLED. So head over there, subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe, because we really want to give the Switch away. And then we'll be recording tonight at 9 o'clock live. We'll be talking about probably some Armored Core, I'd imagine. And then a good chunk of it is going to be talking about Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, hype video, hype episode, whatever you want to call it. We'll see you guys at 9. And I'll see you guys next time I stream.